Okay. Hello, everybody. Can you please confirm if you can hear us both?
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. Can you please confirm if you can hear us both? I'm just hearing echo.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Let's see, everyone. Hopefully, it's going to be better with the audio than last week.
Yes, both. God bless.
Okay.
Great success. Yeah,
Seems nice.
let's give it another minute or two. I'm a bit early.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. I think we can slowly start anyway.
Okay, then I have our clip, so I'll introduce us in a second, Adam.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. so we can start now. Yeah, so welcome to the next weekly episode of the stream. Before we start, as always, this stream is sponsored by Coin Market Manager. As some of you probably know, this is a great trading journal that will automatically pull data from Bybit, and you can use it for tracking all the statistics for your trades. The cool thing about our kind of partnership with CMM is that instead of you paying $700 per year, if you are going to register with a link from below, you will just get the unlimited free access. So it's kind of a nice, not just a shell ref link, but you can get all the features and everything for Bybit on the CMM. All you have to do is register the account with the Bybit link below and then connect it on the CMM platform with your kind of free trial, and it will work. So that's out of the way. Let's take a look quickly on the calendar for this week. There is nothing too big today. Maybe if no more exchanges is gonna get sued or something like that, we should have quite a normal week. There are some just hearings on bank failures, and there is a PCE on Friday, but no FOMC, no CPI, and no these kind of high impact news. So besides these kind of hearings and testifies, it should be not that insane. So let me actually talk about BTC and ETH for a bit before we are going to switch to Runner for the altcoins. Let's take a look. Okay, hopefully you can see my trading view now as I switch this. Cool. So we had a little bit of sell-off on BTC. Let me start on the weekly time frame. I will keep this super simple, and I'm pretty sure like you have seen a lot of people covering the similar stuff, basic SR levels. Let me just zoom out a little bit before for the volume profile to get loaded, which is of course not happening at the moment. Nice one. So let me just pull it like this. So basically on a weekly time frame, we are at the kind of a big resistance. We have this kind of huge chunks of volume from basically whole 2021 to 22. So this is your kind of a next key area for price to accept, although things are were at least looking very well, 2 weeks ago. We are still stuck at, first of all, like simple price action SR, but also this kind of just a huge chunk of volume. So it's definitely worth to be kind of not too crazy, in my opinion, about this. I haven't really traded BTC much in the last few days, but yeah, still this for me is kind of a resistance until proven otherwise. You can see that you have this kind of a small, cluster area, this kind of supply and demand block, whatever you want to call these things, which didn't get quite tested. We get stopped at basically the SR level. But yeah, I would be interested to see, even if we are going to push higher from here, market is currently, took out last week's low, kind of rejecting at the moment. I still feel like that for me to really go like full on bullish at these prices, would be kind of flip above this level and, reclaim this kind of whole structure. At that point, you are back sitting within this previous distribution. We can then, rotate towards the POC, which is at 37K. I know this looks a little bit skewed because, this was so much more volume were traded down here, especially, after FTX went down. Basically, Binance claimed this kind of first spot, although looks like CZ was just push trading everything anyway. But this is your kind of a main thing to look at now. And above, if we basically manage to kind of reclaim 30K, hold above that, then I think this can really send it all the way up to like 37,000. If we manage to pull down from here, and I mentioned this I think previously, that everyone is looking at this 25K. It's the edge of these volumes right here as well. I think like this really should hold basically, because if it's going to just break down, then you are accepting back inside this kind of a bigger value area basically. So this would be kind of a level for me to really watch this 25K area basically. I don't really want to see market breaking under here, and then you kind of see this slow grind under. We cannot reclaim the 25K. Then in my opinion we are going back to 22 and eventually for a new lows towards the 20K.
Yeah,
so
Adam, sorry to interrupt, but Jim said that he has nothing to do if he wants.
Yeah, sure. Let's just let him just join. Let's maybe call him on Discord. I will finish the ETH and BTC.
I guess you finish first, and I'll in the meantime figure out a way to like invite him without obviously.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so basically this is my view for BTC. I think like from super higher time frame perspective, for this to be really bullish, if you are, for example, wanted to buy spot, you have this like whole consolidation. We took out the lows, made a new highs. This is something that you don't really want to see broken. And I think if we are going to retest this is going to be a solid level to buy. I will definitely, buy some spot here, for example, or buy some more dated calls for the upside, because if I would be wrong, if let's say we would come back towards like 24, 23K, I would buy here. I have very, very clear invalidation under 20K basically, and if this is going to roll over, then it's going to roll over anyway, going, in my opinion, much, much lower. So I think for this year, or at least the next quarter and next kind of a foreseeable future, if you want to be long, I would be either waiting for a break under this. At this point, things would have to really kind of accelerate to the upside with like a huge momentum and everything. But then if we would pull back towards the 24K, then I think this is like a solid area to just long, with a wider stop, buy some spot, buy some long dated calls. As I said, I will definitely try to little nail it down on like lower time frames, but I wouldn't mind just, place some limit orders here with this, like I said, super clear invalidation basically. So yeah, this is for me for BTC on like a lower time frames. This just kind of consolidated. We took out the last week low, and as you can see, we are pulling back a little bit at the moment. If I'm going to take a look at the H4 chart, for me, long here towards the 30K area would be basically a reclaim of this level where the selling started. Okay, you have this level at 27.9. This is the point where when the Binance news came in, market flushed it. We took out the lows. I know a lot of people that are trading like SFPs. Very often buy at the lows. In my opinion, it's much better to wait until you get back above, the point where the selling started actually. Only kind of disadvantage, you have bigger invalidation, but it is what it is. So this is how I would get into any kind of longs now at the moment. If we manage to just pull back towards it and market starts to struggle, then I think this is a good short. You have a invalidation above the high and coming back for the 25k retest. So this is just my kind of a immediate thoughts on BTC. We are very much sideways. If you kind of if I would draw like a volume profile around this area, we are still kind of moving within the value area low and in the middle, so definitely no rush to kind of execute the trades here. ETH, in my opinion, is much weaker actually, and has been like weaker ever since the start of the year. I think that, and I mentioned this a couple of times, that generally when I'm looking to get short, I'm shorting ETH and altcoins, and if I want to get long, I prefer to long BTC. But ETH basically took out this 1800 level. This is kind of a weekly resistance. We also had this resistance from February on a weekly time frame. We started to struggle above. We had this resistance. We kind of looked above it. It failed. This was during, I think, the CPI, if I'm not wrong, or during some of the, no, it wasn't actually. This was the CPI flush. We came back, we failed to kind of hold above this high, sold it, and this kind of a retest over the weekend was actually a decent short opportunity. I think the ETH is more kind of prone to roll over, at least if Bitcoin is not going to pick up, and you can see ETH is once again rejecting quite a bit. I would be looking at this kind of 1600 area in this kind of a slow compression tree upside before this last leg up. So for ETH, I'm not really that interested in buying this. Once again, I would feel like if this would be if this would be really strong and we would reclaim back above these highs, the same thing as BTC, where the selling started, then I think you should be longing BTC instead of ETH. As how.
Also, guys, sorry to cut you off, bro. Yes, we are trying to add Jim. Working in the background, so just to answer a few questions in the chat. Sorry. Feel free to continue.
Cool. So yeah, if this would be if this would just pop back up, I think that ETH BTC still has some downside towards this kind of a 0.059. So yeah, I think by looking at this, this is a structure where I would be eventually looking for kind of like flipping towards the ETH strength rather than Bitcoin, but it's still kind of on the way down there. And on lower time frames, there is not much to kind of look for reversals basically. ETH on the higher time frames, I think if Bitcoin is going to test back towards this 25k area, looking at the daily chart basically, this resistance turning possibly support, then I think ETH will be actually trading all the way somewhere towards the 1500 level. Maybe like a huge flush under this 1600 low. This would be your kind of a bounce area for ETH. If, as I said, Bitcoin would kind of fail under the 25k and would be rolling over, I think there is still some level of support for BTC around these. This support low. We traded under that, reclaimed that, so this should actually provide a level of support. ETH at that point, would be, I think, taking these lows based on how weaker this is, and you can, see it even from like a simple price action perspective, where Bitcoin, moved much higher basically in this last leg compared to ETH, which just kind of was playing a catch up. So yeah, I think these are my thoughts on Bitcoin and ETH. Looks like Jim is about to join as well. So
yeah, I'm probably gonna just simply put it into like intro slide. so we don't show
Okay.
anything too crazy. So
I will just quickly ask if someone has any questions. I can actually answer these
Okay, sure.
while we are adding Jim.
Okay.
Coming for the. Yeah, someone mentioned on the YouTube that the DY charts are actually cleaner to see. So hopefully it's better. I don't know. I personally like the darker ones.
Okay, Adam, we have to quit our personal call and let's do it in the group chat. So.
Hello.
Hello, welcome, Jim. Still waiting for Adam.
You hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you really well. Can you guys please in the chat confirm if we can hear the cat loud and clear?
Well, I can't go anywhere anymore without people mentioning the farting chair.
I don't know. Adam, hello?
Hello. You still hear me?
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
How's it going, mate?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just had a nap and woke up and Binance was going to zero, so I thought.
Yeah, but we are still at the same price as we've been for last 10 days, basically. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you wanna show chart your screen by any chance, Jim?
I don't mind. I'm happy to just like
Yeah, then
look
go.
at your chart. I mean, I pretty much have exactly the same levels as everyone else.
Yeah, it's at this point I feel like everyone is kind of looking at the same thing and no one knows basically.
Yeah, like my bias right now. I'm sort of. There's potential for a continuation short here, in my opinion. But there's no trigger yet, really.
Okay, I will ask you actually this because there is like I think like at the moment like no one really knows what's next, but there is like this big kind of two sides at this moment that most people or like a lot of people think that this is going to straight back to like 20k or like even new lows on the year, and there's this other side basically that thinks that we are just going to bounce from like 24 to or at least like hold the March lows basically and go higher from here. So what do you kind of think about that?
Well, I'm just like the way I see it right now. It's like what's a good analogy? Hang on. No, I can't say anything too bad. But like it's like a battle of weak people. It's like weak sellers battling weak buyers right now. So there's no real initiative for me to step in and do anything. Like this is a level, like a breakdown level, whereas I'm like potentially looking for a continuation short, and my levels are like 25.8 and then 25k. But it's just moving a bit too slow for me to really be bothered to manage a position, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the thing that made me laugh the most today with regards to the Binance news is obviously it's pretty negative news, and CT managed to sift through all the shit and come out with the silver lining that the CTFC thinks ETH's a commodity. Like it just makes me laugh that you still managed to find the diamond in the like steaming pile of shit. It's just unbelievable to me. But
what exactly actually happened? Because I wasn't at home. I just came like hour ago. It happened when I was out. So what's the exact? And Runner actually might know this quite well. Like what's the exact kind of thing that happened?
Yeah, they basically leaked DMs of some fucking COO called. I'm not gonna pretend to know the pronunciation, but yeah, also like DMs with CZ with a lot of shit like that's only they can buy like. Not a lot of good stuff, basically. They're getting sued by CTFC, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not such a big deal because Binance has headquarters in Metaverse anyways. It's not like a US governmental agency can do much. I think.
Yeah, but if they would like ban Binance in the US like completely, that would be kind of bad.
Yeah, don't they do like 10 million volume a day?
I don't know. Only thing I know about the Binance US is that like it wicked once to like 2K when Bitcoin was trading around 40 or 50K area. It's like the only time I heard about the Binance US, so it's quite possible that
We feel
it's
the
not the most.
I think the thing that I'm been concerned about, I mentioned it like, I don't know, a month and a half ago. There's like quite strong evidence to suggest that Binance is actually facilitating US customers through sort of what's the word, like offshore sort of exchanges. So there's like some real like suspicious sort of non KYC exchanges that are running from like different places like Seychelles and stuff, that's facilitating American clients, and the volumes like matching Binance volumes. They've got like obscure, like incredibly high volumes across certain alt pairs on these random exchanges, and I think that's the kind of shit that's coming out at the minute. It's quite
Yeah, there's a lot of these like white label Binance exchanges basically, where like Binance provides everything and they just act like they are not completely dependent on Binance. I think I've seen someone actually using one of these exchanges on Twitter a while ago.
yeah.
But
There's certain exchanges where the volume like matches Binance's volume for these obscure altcoins and stuff, and it's just all a bit strange. But I've had my doubts about Binance for a long time. I think they're pretty shady, and it's just the insider trading stuff that's quite interesting to me, because for me personally, it seems pretty evident that they do inside trading just based on the flow, because some of the like aggressive sort of toxic flow they provide in order to move price is like so nonsensical from like a trader perspective that it doesn't seem like a profitable strategy for anyone outside of sort of the inside.
I remember when like BitMEX went down like 2 years ago, and we were all looking at just Bybit order flow, even though Binance was much bigger, because like everyone knew that it's just a bunch of wash trading, and at the time like open interest wasn't even updating like in a real time. But yeah, then I feel like everyone just kind of gave up at one point. But yeah, definitely a lot of like weird stuff is going on.
Yeah, but there's a lot of probes into their insider trading. Apparently, they have like multiple desks and stuff operating, which is obviously not good.
So what are your guys' thoughts on did you see the volumes on Binance, since Binance basically removed the zero fee thing for for Bitcoin trading, so volumes are down like 80% in like day to day.
Yeah. I think it's pretty much a nothing burger. It just shows you how little interest there is, I think, when there is no spot fees. I think one thing that's quite interesting to me personally on the spot front is you had Coinbase trading at like $200+ premium over the last 2 weeks, which in my opinion has been a big contributing factor to the high volatility we've seen, because it's basically been a free trade for sort of rebalancing for market makers, basically selling on Coinbase and buying on Binance. If you put a few thousand Bitcoin through the books like that, you're making very easy money. Which one of the reasons volumes have been high on Coinbase and Binance, in my opinion. And then since that gap's tightened up back to sort of normal, volatility's died with it. So that's one thing I've noticed.
Coinbase is supposed to launch the derivatives exchange. I think I read that like last week.
Yeah, God Christ.
Which is kind of weird, because like it will be instantly banned in the US, I suppose.
Yeah. And I'll need to give like a DNA sample to get fucking registered on there, probably.
Yeah. You'll pay like 15% in fees for one trade, and then you will never be able to withdraw it anyway, so it will be awesome experience. I waited on Coinbase like 9 months for the customer support to answer my email.
They never answered mine. I was blocked for the entirety of the bull run. I had a bunch of Bitcoin on there that I bought for like, it must have been like 8K or something. and it got unlocked at like 61k or something. I'm kind of glad they did it because I'd have probably sold way before that. But yeah, they never responded once.
Did you get it out eventually?
Yeah, I literally just market sold it, like, and it was close to the top. It was really lucky, to be honest.
So it's probably was Sailor, your counterparty, guess.
Yeah.
Poor Sailor, man. Buys a good entry and then gets the Binance FUD straight away.
Yeah, he was like almost break even at this point.
It would surprise me if they did a fucking probe into Sailor for some of his tweets, to be honest, like the way that's going. Wouldn't surprise me if they, like, you know the tweets regarding like mortgaging your house to buy Bitcoin. That's that's not allowed at the end of the day. I just think, I'm still of the view that this shit takes so long that people get so caught up on the price as a reflection of the market. That we could bounce to 29k today and everyone will think like everything's fine and dandy again, but I think we've got I think there's going to be 2 or 3 years of this nonsense. These kind of things take so long even just to get through court and stuff, so
yeah, like I don't feel like we are very close, because obviously some people calling already for 60k next month basically, but I think we are not in kind of a overall market conditions to just YOLO send it basically in like 2 weekly candles. So yeah, I just hope like this start of the year, these first like 2 months and 2.5 months basically wasn't it like volatility wise, and we will be just sitting here every week looking at the same $1,000 range, or like just bounce back and forth basically, and not much will happen. I mean, like for most people that trade, like as long as these things move, it doesn't matter that much if it's up or down in the end basically.
Totally right. That's my thoughts. Like why do you want to be swing trading in a market where there's so much sort of there's so many variables across all markets right now. There's like negative news or potential negative news every other day, and people think it's a good time to you really want to be buying when there's like minimal variance, really. You know.
But I was talking about this with Runner before the stream started, that like obviously I started trading altcoins, which was like complete over for any altcoin trading overall, but it's so different compared to the last like 2 months, where now it's just these things, like no matter how good they look from like price action or like order flow based, it's really just BTC kind of leading the way, and it's just doesn't really matter, because during the January and February, like a lot of these things were just moving because people were genuinely just like chasing all these narratives or whatever, and you could see that the correlations were not that important. But at the moment, with most of these altcoins, it just doesn't matter if you want to buy something, or we had this, Randall was talking about this Matic thing with this kind of biggest event in last few months. I think you will know better than me, but yeah, it just doesn't matter overall. With one bad news, it's going to flush anyway.
Well, I think the thing that's been noteworthy for the last few days is Bitcoin's gone sideways, and generally when that happens, altcoins catch a bid from speculators and gamblers, but they've continued to keep bleeding, and no one's really acknowledged that or noticed it. Everyone was telling me to long at like 28k today.
Yeah, actually, let me pull up. I prepared something, at least 30 seconds of me speaking on the stream, but I have on the screen basically best returns of altcoins in the last 7 days, all spot pairs on Binance, and there is like literal shit like Joe, which is like Avalanche based DEX if I'm not mistaken, and stuff like XRP and Litecoin. I mean, that's all you really need to know. And these returns are in single-digit percentage. And if Adam remembers, like 2 weeks ago, we would have shit like Conflux and whatever other altcoins doing like 120 to 150%. So just that alone is like a great confirmation that altcoins are not having fun right now.
Yeah, the only thing I was looking at last week was like Dash, Cardano, Link. XRP. It really felt like, back in 2017, basically with these things, and nothing really new. And I feel like your kind of best play would be just shorting all these kind of, washed up narratives. I still feel like every AI coin is just like completely stupid. People once again trying to really milk every dollar from this space, with this new shiny thing. But these things that were kind of cool month ago will be the ones that will fall the most eventually, because they have like the most money, coming in. I was looking at something, in one of these AI coins where the open interest basically just rose up, and then people are just holding throughout like a huge sideways period, and most of the money, in like leveraged positions basically is still there. So if like shorting these things when you have this kind of a huge possibility of downside with how much people will eventually have to flush their positions, is kind of the smartest thing to do in my opinion now.
Yeah.
Jim, ever since you joined the stream, we're down only on Bitcoin, so...
Yeah, it's kind of my curse, or is it? Maybe it's all part of the plan. It seems like every time I stream we go down, it's a bit strange.
So do we have any altcoin narratives or something? Like I'm pretty sure like nothing for this week, but maybe something for like this month or like next month.
Yeah, maybe I can give Jim like very quick TLDR what we do here. Adam basically talks Bitcoin, ETH, higher time frame levels, etc. Then we move on to current altcoin narratives that we call musical chairs. That's the name. Currently, today we had a big Matic event that we're all anticipating, especially Trader SZ and XO with their Matic shorts, but basically Matic ZK EVM upgrade. I have no clue what that means. Just like the name suggests, zero knowledge. Honestly, no clue. But we had some other coins within ZK basket doing well, which is Mina, Dusk, and most importantly, Seller. C-E-L-R. But it's like 160 million market cap. So for me, it's like, I'm not trading that shit.
What is the thing with, what do you think about the Arbitrum token?
Oh, Arbitrum. Oh, finally.
It feels like one lawsuit later and everyone basically just forgot like this whole thing exists. No one is talking about it anymore. Also, everyone, including me, tried to bought it yesterday, so everyone is kind of like keeping it silent because it's not looking too good.
I guess it will be just the casual airdrop fractal. Like, okay, let's start with, it's a useless governance token, just like about 95% of stuff in crypto, so don't really like mid-curving it. It was, the cost basis for most people is $0, right? So like, you're gonna sell regardless. If you forgot, you got it. I think like people will forget, basically. I'm drawing it on the chart. I think it will just die and consolidate around $1. And then, it just picks up again in turbo moons. I can see that go up with maybe like a bit listing. Koreans love new shiny Ponzi's. So we've seen that with Aptos. We've seen that with other coins in the past. So this is how I'm planning to play that, but might take an L. Yeah,
I think like once again the same thing, like the sentiment is not really there at the moment with people like trying to risk much, because there was this the Blur with the NFT thing airdrop, just a month ago basically, which is not that long ago, and it did like 2x after the listing, which kind of, I think it's like a good kind of example of this overall quick shift in the conditions where like no one really knows what's going to happen next, especially with BTC, and people are kind of just afraid to YOLO at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's actually better for people to just stay sidelined, like if you don't, I believe I'm just literally taking Jim's words out of his mouth for like watching his streams, but like if you don't have an edge, just do fucking nothing. It's that simple.
Yeah. Choose your battles in this current market because it's so uncertain and illiquid. It's like the two, it's basically the two main factors to tell you to like do less, basically. I want to short now, but I don't particularly think it's worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like Yeah, like your invalidation, like I can see this like just spiking up all of a sudden and then dying down. You know, it's like so within this range. You know, it's quite thin and really unpredictable to just like jump into the short at the moment, at least.
Yeah.
Which reminds me that I always, when there are situations like these, I always want to start trade options because then you have this kind of a edge without a stop loss, and I always kind of forget to do it anyway. So
I've been having more success on the ES and Nasdaq, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I just think there's a higher participation level, so you get cleaner, actionable price action, and as far as like setups I like to take, they're just more actionable than actually play out. And I think one thing I like about it is as long as you're like working the right sort of zones, the drawdown is very manageable. As far as like the other day I shorted Mask, I ended up getting out for a small win, but I woke up and it had spiked like 20% and I was like underwater like silly. And I was like, you don't get this on the fucking Nasdaq. Like my max drop on the Nasdaq is like 0.5% or something. So I kind of like I kind of like the lack of volatility as far as like Nasdaq compared to crypto, because it's just I just have more conviction in my sizing and my setups.
There are definitely advantages to this, and especially like that you need to pay attention, for a few hours basically during the like US Open and during the day, and you don't have to be afraid that much that in like most random time at 4:15 a.m. it will just spike 30% against you basically.
Yeah, but like for me, like Nasdaq is given like a 1.5% rotation today. That's like, I think that's good. I think that's like for intraday volatility, a 1.5% on the Nasdaq. I think it's pretty good, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just preferring trading that, to be honest. I think it's just me turning into a boomer more than anything. So.
It's the final step.
My problem with trading crypto right now is like from like a microstructure point of view, the moves up feel very last gaspish, sort of defensive as opposed to bullish. It doesn't feel natural to me. It might sound silly to some people, but yeah, it doesn't feel like a naturally progressing market as far as price goes. It feels like there's a need and a dependency for price to go up as opposed to like it going up due to interest, and that makes me doubt a lot of my setups on crypto at the minute, because it's amazing recently how many times it rallies hard and then all the news comes out every time, like, and it's that kind of shit. It's just,
I think like crypto has overall this kind of a behavior when it's like nothing happens for weeks and everyone gets bored of it, and then the actual trends they last like 3 days basically, and then it's nothing again for next couple of weeks. Then you have few days of the volatility, and again this is basically how most of this kind of a move from all over like 60k all the way back towards this bottom at 17 like happened basically. Like for 90% of days we just had nothing, and then there was just like one flush, usually at 3 a.m. when I was asleep, and then nothing for next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Runner, can you open? Someone is asking about BNB. I think that's actually a pretty nice short.
Yeah, on it 1 second.
It had that launchpad thing, which is kind of done, and I don't really think like especially with the news today, like why you would want to buy it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's pretty much all shorts, right? Yeah, looks
like. Well, the thing with BNB actually is that Christ. It looked completely the same during like start of the March before we bottomed out, before BTC bottomed out. Like if you look at the open interest, like this was just getting shorted, all the way from like when that first news came in like a middle of March towards all the way down to middle of February. Yeah, like BNB was like heavily shorted basically throughout from like February to March, and it wasn't really picking up to the upside. So I would be kind of cautious with this, as just trying to kind of catch the bottom, because everyone is shorting it.
Yeah.
Which is something that I did several times in the middle of February.
It's the one coin I'm really reluctant to trade, because it's like cult. It's like one of the cult coins, CZ could say something and just ruin your day.
Yeah, it had this, like, BNB had this huge kind of wick in like day before FTX went down basically, and I got slipped so bad at that.
That's the only time I traded it. I shorted it at like, I think it was like 388 or something.
Yeah, that basically happened overnight, and I was long, and I had take profit like above 400, and my stop was sitting like, I think even like at break even basically at that point, and yeah, it just slipped me like so bad. So yeah, this is definitely a awesome coin to trade.
What I like about CZ is he just gave up. He just keeps tweeting force, which you gotta respect. Like, he used to fight these guys. He just fucking doesn't care.
But
anymore.
it's still like holding up. Like, if you take a look at like weekly chart, it's been testing that like $200 support for like 15th time basically, and it's still holding up. So it's kind of interesting.
There's
I genuinely think the health of the crypto market is like at risk below 250 BNB because every market-wide rally we've had this year has come off BNB defending that zone, and I just get FTT vibes personally. I
think like you are not wrong, but also I was looking at the Twitter, and Capo posted a new picture of targeting $11 on BNB.
Oh, that was Capo.
So there might be a situation when this might not actually happen, but yeah, it's definitely like from like a weekly. If you just look at like simple weekly price action on BNB, I don't really see why anyone would want to buy something that was tested for like 5 times basically, and each bounce is like weaker and weaker. So yeah, that's definitely not looking too well.
Also, there's a lot of on-chain liquidations for BNB around 220, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I last looked, but it was like they have Venus protocol, which I wish I could say more, but yeah, some on-chain. If there's somebody still using Binance Smart Chain trying to find a new Dogecoin.
I think like Binance Smart Chain is like the worst thing that ever happened basically in crypto. There's like
it was the end. It literally was the end, isn't it?
There's like a not single great thing about like BNB and Binance Smart Chain that ever happened. So and this is still the best performing coin basically, like I think like overall in crypto, in relation that how much it rallied from the lows. I remember buying this for like $14 and selling it at 16, thinking I'm genius. And it's still holding up around the 300 area. So
oh, you're talking again about your biggest fumble of like your life?
No, I think there have been like worse things than buying BNB at $14, unfortunately.
Oh shit. Yeah, but Bitcoin pair is not looking too great, I guess. I have it chart open on weekly BNB Bitcoin, but oof, kind of rough.
Yeah, this actually looks a little like better. At least it's like testing this kind of a huge consolidation for like a first time, compared to like the USD pair, which looks like it's just about to teleport basically through that support. So I think BNB is like the only coin that is holding up against on like a BTC pair, right? There is like nothing really other than that basically.
Yeah, God bless. Actually, Jim saved us this week because, like, usually I would speak for 30 minutes about altcoins, but I have nothing prepared. We can talk about XRP and people, like...
Why is XRP up, actually, this week? Or, like, from last week?
Well, I've read a lot of people speculating on the SEC case basically going forward, but I mean I've heard it fucking million times this week alone, so I'm just, you know, like if you look at the order flow, it's been actually, like, I don't want to say at a word, but like it's been crazy, truly crazy order flow.
I was looking at in like 14th of February. I remember there was like last Saturday. It was like there was like a nice spike in the open interest. I was actually thinking about buying this. Then I kind of gave up, and you DM'd me like 5 minutes before that huge move happened. As someone was just devapping it. Yeah. So I kind of missed this completely, unfortunately. But this is like a only thing that did something, and it's still holding it in like last 10 days basically.
But then you have also Litecoin.
In high, like, you know, in a few weeks, people are probably going to be like, ah, shit, because it's actually testing like massive sort of multi-year resistance level. To be honest.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
I think from like what I kind of learned and realized in the last few months is that like I don't try to short like the single best performing coin, because that's the one that when the Bitcoin will have like the slightest bounce will just kind of teleport through my stop loss in like one candle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm generally trying to picking like the second or the third best. You know, all these kind of like there's still this STX, which is like that Bitcoin kind of thing related to
Bitcoin DeFi.
Yeah, Bitcoin DeFi, which I have no idea how that works, but
yeah, ask no questions, just press green.
Yeah.
It looks like it's about to retrace its entire rally. From
yeah.
Someone is asking if Bybit is safe to trade. I don't think it is. No, like first of all, use the link in the description for the. No, I think in general,
the only place I trade anymore.
Yeah, I trade there as well, but yeah, like no crypto exchange, and no exchange in like general is like good place to is safe place to trade. Basically, you should have like, you know, just a small amount capital. Use the high leverage. It doesn't have to be like too high, but
oh my god,
use compensate the
rest of your money in the bank, because they're safe.
No, basically. But seriously, watch CryptoCred's risk management video if you have no clue what Adam is talking about. But if you have no clue what he's talking about, just don't trade.
Yeah, basically the things that you should take from what I just said is use the link in the description and high leverage. It's nothing else that's important.
No stop loss.
No, but yeah, like for each exchange you really should have like, you know, things, at least if you have like a lot more money in crypto, then you should have put it at least like more exchanges, wallets, and, you know, so you don't take like one single hit and, you know, don't use one stablecoin.
Well, here's a question for you then, because I've been seeing some weird like news coverage coming out of the States over the last day or two regarding they're basically talking about US losing dominance, like currency dominance, which is a bit strange for like mainstream American news to be talking about the dollar not being the global reserve currency anymore. It's a bit strange.
And what they are saying is the new currency.
Saudis are taking over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
well, I don't know, like, yeah.
My question is like, how safe are your stablecoins if that's the case?
Are there like euro-backed stablecoins? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I actually like. If I can share, I hate to talk about these things because then, you know, some shit is going to go down and someone will just take this small part from the stream. But on some exchanges, and if you use like good exchanges that have good reputation, like Kraken, for example, you can have like different fiat currencies in you know, like actual currencies, not in like stablecoins. So definitely, if you have this kind of money in crypto, you can explore this option. Basically, you know, I put bunch of my stablecoins I put in the euro back in when I sold around, you know, 60k on BTC. It was March it was like you know, October 21. Since then, euro is down 17%. So it's definitely great to diversify your stable
losses.
coins. Yeah.
No, but actually,
Yeah.
you can actually talk trade Bitcoin Euro or Bitcoin Turkish Lira if you fancy, like.
Yeah, but it's only like a spot market. I think only like a perp for non-US would be some like Korean won or yen maybe.
I think it's genuinely one of the most interesting potential developments for crypto. Actually, is if dollar starts getting sold in different currencies, if oil starts getting sold in different currencies.
Yeah.
It might be the one. It might be the one sort of what's the word? Scenario where I would buy Bitcoin, even if it were to just hedge on a perpetual swap.
Yeah.
So that guy might be right about $1 million Bitcoin in like 90 days. To be honest, maybe he knows something we don't.
And oil is also not looking actually that bad. It's kind of having.
By the way, does anybody want to show their chart? I'm losing. Adam, you wanna take over? Like sharing screen, I mean.
Yeah, sure. We can take a look. It's been almost an hour again, so we can just kind of take some requests for coins, and yeah. Oh, yeah, the AI narrative coins. I talked about this here on stream. I think it's these should be shit. Let me just switch to the trading view. I don't really need a coin analyze for this anyway. The AI coins. I think it's kind of this section of like the washed up narrative basically where. This is not the icon, this thing, right? Like you had this like a huge build up, and if you would take a look at the open interest on this as well, if it's going to load or not, is the question, right? Like there is still kind of a decent amount, and they are covering here at the moment. Like I think it's kind of resetting back, and there is way more before the perps were listed. This was trading on the BUSD perp actually. But yeah, I think these are your kind of a best shorts. Like if you want to short something, look at the things that were popular in January and February, because these will have most kind of a new money stuck in basically. So yeah, I'm not really looking at buy things. I was shorting the Ocean, which is I think one of the worst names for coins that someone could give. But yeah, it's like a super simple thing even from like a order flow perspective. This was like last week I think. You have simple breakout from like a resistance here. Someone is stepping in. You can see this on the open interest down here as well. So there is quite a high likelihood on a coin which is like this basically to kind of test the level and roll over more. And I don't really see like really any reasons to long these. As you can see also, most of these are just like back very close to this kind of bottom we made in March compared to Bitcoin, which is like miles away basically. So yeah, I think these coins are kind of that. Someone is asking about the total market cap, which is more of a thing that the runner does. I never actually looked at this chart ever, so I don't really. This is like total market cap with BTC and ETH, right?
Yeah, that's basically this is like everything. So
yeah.
Total
so
2
is like,
excluding Bitcoin, and total T excluding Bitcoin and ETH.
Yeah, so this looks like completely the same as the Bitcoin chart basically. I don't think like we took out this high on a weekly. There is not really a market for this, so you don't really need to think about someone is getting stopped about 1.178 trillion. But yeah, this is looking same as BTC, and as I mentioned with Bitcoin, this is your kind of this consolidation. you have this kind of a excess, this kind of failure to make a new lows. If this is really bullish, we will come test something within this and we should make a new high. If not, then we are going
But
for the lows.
you can open total 3 now. It's actually interesting when you see this chart and now you do total 3.
Yeah, it's this thing, right?
Yeah, and look at this. This is just basically
Yeah.
shitcoins.
Yeah, and there is actually this kind of a very clear difference between BTC being the strong thing basically in like the last month or so, and as this, once again, super simple price action. I don't think that price action is like charting these things is that useful, but we are not making any highs. You just made the same thing as Bitcoin because Bitcoin is leading and you have correlations and everything, but then this just completely lacks the follow through. So with the ETH BTC not looking too well at the moment, I think if things start to really look quite bad, then the ETH and this kind of total and altcoin and everything would be this kind of a thing that would really reach somewhere towards the January prices. And even for example, it can kind of mean that Bitcoin would still be ending up around this 20k range, like based on how weak the altcoins are, how weak the ETH is compared to BTC. Bitcoin really has to pull down like 20% and it can completely nuke most altcoins and ETH and everything. So yeah.
I would guess altcoins trade back below the yearly opens over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Can you pull up Zcash chart, please?
No.
I also think people that think crypto has like a legitimate 1 trillion market cap are smoking something crazy as well. Like if you look at the general flow for the markets, and you think this is $1 trillion asset class, I think you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. I saw someone actually today on Twitter mentioning Zcash as well. That this is like a good buy and it's going anywhere basically. Yeah, this looks like the worst thing that.
This is going to Goblin Town, man.
Yeah, this is looking terrible.
It's already there. It's extending its stay.
Yeah.
I mean, I might buy
Yeah.
it single digits just like for the meme in case Barry makes a comeback.
No,
or
like this
Zuko.
is like the thing that is like it like brings a bad luck if you ever buy it basically. So I wouldn't really touch it. Oh, this is like, and like most of these coins, realistically, like if you really zoom out and if you like thinking that something is a good buy and like hold for like a longer period of time, then you have all this to kind of get through. With Bitcoin at least kind of trying, at least showing this kind of strength toward the move, but a lot of these altcoins are dead, and I think like if this is the thing that is as Jim mentioned, that it's going to take really like another, for example, a year or two or maybe longer for any kind of real this cycle, then everything is going 10x and BTC going to 100k or whatever, then I think we are not going to be trading the same altcoins that are popular now basically. Like most of these like layer ones, like you have like Atom, Algo, all these things, like no one is using it realistically, and if the time progresses and if Bitcoin is not going to be the strong thing that is leading the market, at least to some portion, and it's really going to take a longer time to form any kind of new trend, then I don't think most of these things will be here anyway.
I almost wonder how difficult it'll be to just list a new coin over the next 5 years anyway, to be honest, with the sort of the regulatory pressures. It's actually a bit of a joke really how easy it has been to just spin up a new coin that you can make money from, really.
Yeah, it's insane. Like even the Coinbase with the coins they have there now, it's really they'll just list anything basically.
Yeah.
I pulled up some like a good examples that I could find. I wanted to show the coin lines anyway for some coins, but yeah, like things that are now on Coinbase, it's pretty like crazy. So, and I think the reason why these Dino coins why these Dino coins are still like holding up is because, you know, like they have like a huge, I think like from like a retail perspective, like outside of like crypto Twitter and anything, you know, like all my friends know, you know, XRP, all my friends know Cardano, and these are the coins that will, I think, be here in another 4 years basically, because it's just had this kind of reach outside of this small bubble basically.
Yeah, but when you think about it, actually, Cardano has like, please like lower your IQ listening to me right now, but like I think Cardano has a lot of going for it. Not fundamentally, but when like retail actually comes back, it has like prices like what, 34 cents, right? So it's like low unit bias. And as you said,
When they
have like
when they launched the
smart
sorry,
contracts.
when they launched the dApps, there was the thing, it's called like Sunday swap or something like that. I sent there like 10k to like test everything. I never saw that money again. I couldn't like withdraw it. I couldn't buy anything. It just kind of stuck there, and I put it to that coin, and it just went to zero. So it's definitely a nice chain to use.
I think generally the strategy is when Adam starts trading altcoins, just get all your money out.
I'm genuinely just like trying to build a base with the streaming, and then I will be just showing the Olympus DAO charts for like hour and begging people to buy. No, but as Rano said, like yeah, like Cardano is actually like popular. I know someone in like personally who is like a huge fan, and he knows a lot of things about it, and they apparently do some things in like third world countries and everything. So yeah, I think it's one of those things that, you know, people meme it all the time on Twitter, but it has this kind of a outside bubble outreach basically.
I just think it's all worthless.
I mean, this is probably peak bottom, not bottom, but like Adam and
Like-
Jim discussing altcoins on a stream. This is like peak comedy.
Like, yeah, like I just think like with these altcoins, they're just they're just so stupid. They don't really serve a purpose really.
Yeah, it's crypto in general overall, you know, like there is not really any kind of world use case anyway, you know, it's all just speculation. I think like altcoins are, you know, the penny stocks of crypto basically. It's you know, nice thing to trade, but I don't think there is anything that is like useful actually.
Sadly.
I mean, use case of speculation is good enough, right? When you think about it.
That's why I'm here. You know, it's great.
Yeah,
for that.
I think speculation is nice, but I think like really compared to like stocks, like the correlation is quite much higher basically in crypto, which kind of sucks, because, you know, if we are not in this kind of full blown, you know, mode when everything is going up like crazy, you know, when you have times like these, it's really hard to even like pick something that is looking like from your, you know, TA or whatever perspective nice, because you know, it's just following Bitcoin too closely at the moment.
Yeah, I think like the big shift I've seen really from when I started, like it was a much more sort of the speculation was much more sort of genuine 4 or 5 years ago, even longer. With you know,
what was the genuine speculation?
well, like it's because it was like before the mass adoption phase, when it was still quite a sort of new, exciting prospect. And then we've had this mass adoption phase, and actually it's not really materialized into anything. So now the speculation is just coming from trying to, you know, get in on pumps, as opposed to like, you know, there's like no use anymore, really. You know,
I think like most things got quite fucked by like 3AC and all these funds kind of, you know, blowing up and doing all the shady shit, basically like the whole DeFi. Kind of as cool as it looked, you know, everything got hacked within like a week, or someone just stole the money right away. So yeah, I feel like, and I had these like once a year basically, I have this moment where, because I have very little knowledge about in crypto like in general, and I kind of try to educate myself to not look like complete asshole online. And I look at these things and they kind of look interesting, but then there is always someone who is just like ruins the thing completely, basically, and just steals the money, or someone is just going to blow out completely, and it's keep happening basically over and over again.
Yeah. Shit. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like for me, 20 sort of like before 2020, it was such a like an individual market in the way it moved. It was very like positive, like people really thought they were sort of early, and it was quite an upbeat. And now, like it's so heavily correlated to like news that shouldn't even really affect it and stuff. It's just kind of a shame, really.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going all doomer.
No, I think it's fair because one day we're correlated to S&P 500, next day we're correlated to gold, like
Yeah,
CTFC.
everything that's kind of fits the purpose better for the day is the next thing.
Yeah.
There's this video from the Richard Hart, the Hex guy, and I know everyone hates him, but it's like he's really right about talking about basically like how people change narratives even around Bitcoin, how it's future of payment, future of whatever digital gold is, just really people trying to find the thing that kind of fits at the moment.
Yeah. It's a shame. I spoke about this recently, like the amount of money that we've seen come in from venture capitalists and stuff that's gone into all these new shiny projects just to print a buck or two. Imagine if all that money went into building the infrastructure needed to make Bitcoin a viable option, sort of outside of the financial system.
Yeah.
Like if it was an actual alternative now to where it's just kind of like a derivative of the US dollar in a sense now. Like everything, its value is determined in the US dollar. And there's obviously question marks with the dollar at the minute and what's going to happen there. But it's just not a viable payment option really. So, and it's a shame. It's a shame. They could have put a lot of money into actually making it useful for this period to where I could at least sort of acknowledge and sort of speculate on the idea of it being sort of an alternative to the banking system. But I just don't see it. If anything, I'm more concerned about the off ramps being more limited as opposed to it being an alternative.
Yeah. Also, we're in this echo chamber, right? Like we're people who are quote unquote tech savvy, but think about like your auntie who's maybe 40, right? Or your like local Tesco. They're probably not gonna accept Bitcoin because fucking banking system is collapsing, right? Like it's a complete delusion we have on crypto Twitter right now with the guy calling for 1 million Bitcoin because it's simply not gonna happen. Nobody's really gonna actually use crypto, unfortunately, not in the short term at least.
Yeah, I don't really think that there's like a scenario where I would buy with BTC on like things like rent and stuff around that. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit too much. So yeah, I think we've been streaming for an hour now. So the most depressing anti-crypto stream is about to over, I think.
It's probably a long. Everyone should just go long this.
I think like based on how much kind of negative stuff we just said in the last hour, I think you should just long something.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, my long plan is like if Ethereum reclaims 1735, then I'd just play it back up to like 1800 or something. There's
17 what? This?
35.
35. Okay, so like here. Okay, yeah. I usually look at like where the selling started on ETH here. The OI here picked up around at the highs basically, especially with these news. So I rather not to be in that like failed V reversal basically when we just test the kind of a origin of that. But yeah, I would definitely be happy to buy it above 1760. But yeah, other than that, I don't know, really. It doesn't look, like for these things, especially, when you have like news, like these, which are not the bad news. You really want to see that like quick snapback basically immediately. But the longer this is just going to kind of hover under this SR level, I think there is higher likelihood to just continue lower.
Yeah. So go all in on the yuan and gold. There you go.
Yeah.
Go long. Yeah. Long China coin, long gold, short BNB. That's your like. That's your
There's the recap. Do we have any? And so basically nothing really interesting in form of like altcoins for this coming week. We have this ETH Shanghai thing, right, Runner?
Yeah, on 12th of April.
Yeah, so we will be actually. Oh, that's in like 2 weeks from now. So yeah, that's.
Maybe just one last thing. There is Consensus. I believe that's a company behind MetaMask. They tweeted something cryptic like 28th of March on their Twitter. So maybe there will be some more speculation. Maybe MetaMask airdrop. Yeah.
Is that why Mask looks relatively strong?
No. Mask has been correlated to Conflux, which is the CFX, because they had a partnership, and CFX is probably one of the strongest coins of the year. Chinese layer 1 that has Saka has been shilling.
Mask is not the MetaMask token.
No. It's like that was used to be a Twitter payment thingy speculation, and
shit.
obviously Musk equals Musk, like Elon Musk. So
that's
literally the narrative. I'm not even making this up. Musk means Elon Musk.
Oh, like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Jesus.
This guy in your chat keeps asking about the USDT FUD.
I have no idea what's.
I've not seen any USDT FUD today.
Yeah, it's one of the rare days when there is no USDT FUD today. Yeah, it's still holding the peg at the moment. So
yeah,
basically, like with the USDT, you just draw the line like 10% under the price, set the alert, and then start to worry, which happens like every once in a while, basically. But other than that, I haven't seen anything basically.
Yeah.
What do we think about the 300 fake accounts Binance used to trade? Well, it's, quite a kind of obvious thing in the end, like these exchanges basically washing the volume to look bigger than they are. If you are going to take a look, even if you go to like CoinGecko basically and look at the exchanges somewhere here, here. There are some like totally random exchanges you basically never heard about, with like a huge volume. It's all wash trading for Binance, obviously. They just wanted to really take that first spot. So yeah.
I'm just picturing, the meme where he's pointing in the mirror. I'm like, you're not a bad trader. It's the 300 Binance accounts trading against you.
It's Binance cartel visualized.
Yeah. It's just one poor guy having to handle 300 accounts at once, or he doesn't get a bonus at the end of the month.
He gets sent to prison camp.
Yeah.
But I mean, CZ has been tweeting quite a lot from the movie 300, which is actually funny. From like, he was referring to BNB price, right? Like what was his name? Leonidas kicking the guy in the. So now it explains the reference to 300. It was not a BNB price. 300 slaves trading sub-accounts.
I think like the best thing CZ could do and should do like 5 years ago was like never tweet anything again. Which goes same for like every kind of CEO of every crypto company or project basically.
Yeah. It's like a death warrant, really. I just can't believe the audacity of the guy to just tweet 4 after a CTFC fucking case. Like, it's so unprofessional. If like TradFi, like, if like this, like, if like the CEO of CME or something just came out and tweeted 4, it'd probably like, it's just unbelievable.
It's one of those things like why people really treat this overall thing as casino and no one really takes it that seriously, because like the way that people are acting, you go to the like I open the Binance website and it offers me to like 30 different games and staking products, and I can buy flight tickets now with some Binance Pay, and all these different things while you go to like TradFi exchange, and you just make an account, trade, nobody's forcing you anything else. You don't have a CEO posting selfies every day basically. So yeah, that's definitely a awesome thing about crypto, that these things.
Okay, guys, want to wrap it up? I really need to go to restroom. I'm sorry.
Cool,
I mean, we've been going
cool.
75 minutes, I think.
Thanks, Jim,
for finding time.
joining us.
Yeah, sorry, it was a bit random. I just felt like chatting some shit for an hour.
No, you really saved the stream, because my altcoin part would be 30 seconds long. So
We will do our best to kind of prepare, or at least we'll be hoping that something interesting will happen this week when it comes to altcoins.
Lawsuits.
One of the things that I am, and I can show this on the stream if one of the things that I'm doing basically every day, although not much is happening, looking here at Livitas at the altcoin derivatives, these dashboards, looking at changes in funding, looking at the changes in this is funding, this is the open interest, this is funding, looking at what things people are buying and selling. I don't really tweet about this because usually you have like 50 million daily volume coins and you have like some really low liquid stuff, but if you feel like gambling a little bit, and also you can kind of make quick money basically on these kind of lower volume things anyway, just don't go crazy with any size. So yeah, this is what I'm doing throughout the week. Like I said, there's not much to do anyway, and I would be really careful to kind of try to buy anything before BTC looks kind of more solid basically.
But if you do, use the link in description on Binance.
Yeah, then you can definitely buy everything and gamble on anything.
Okay, guys.
Cool.
I guess we'll call it a day. Thank you very much again, and have a nice evening.
Thank you.